Serum accounts to a main part of our blood. Further, what is an anti-serum? An anti-serum is a fibrinogen-free blood plasma or serum which contains antibodies or antitoxins against a particular pathogen. That brings us to a very important definition that we should know, and that is, what is a vaccine? On the monitor, the meaning of the word vaccine. Vaccines are preparations which contain heat-killed or chemically weakened pathogens, their toxin or toxoid. When introduced to an individual, a vaccine stimulates the production of antibodies or antitoxin against the particular type of germs. We have a recap immediately of this word vaccine on the monitor to get the lines clearly. What is a vaccine? And I read it for you. Vaccines are preparations contain heated, killed or chemically weakened pathogen, their toxin or toxoids. When introduced in an individual, a vaccine stimulates the production of antibodies or antitoxins against the particular type of germs. If the word vaccine is there, there has to be a word along with that we should know. Inoculation. What is inoculation? On the monitor for you. Inoculation is an injection or introduction of serum or vaccine into the human beings or animals in order to protect them against a particular disease. So now we know the word vaccine, inoculation. What are antigens, antibodies? What are toxins and antitoxins? Let us move further with some more terms that we need to know with the words like immunity, immunology, or immunization, disinfectants. So, on the monitor, the meaning of the word immunity for you. What is immunity? Immunity is the ability of an organism to fight or combat disease-causing germs at the onset of infection. If we talk about immunity, we should know what is immunology. Immunology means, on the monitor for you, the science of development of resistance or defense against the causative agents of the disease is termed as immunology. Along with immunology comes another very important word. What is immunization? And here on the monitor, meaning of the word immunization for you. Immunization is the process of inoculating the organism with vaccine or serum to protect the body against diseases. Let's recap this part once again. Immunization is the process of inoculating the organism with vaccine or serum to protect the body against disease. What exactly is the meaning of the word disinfectant? Disinfectants are germicidal chemicals which also inhibit the growth of pathogens. Let me quote some examples for you, like carbolic acid in the form of phenol, or it is boric acid, or it is, for example, a familiar name for you, Lysol, or bleaching powder, or potassium permanganate. When we talk about this, we also use another word that you're so familiar with. What's a deodorant? A deodorant are substances employed to destroy or mask unpleasant odor. Such disinfectants are also called as deodorants. Examples are hydrogen peroxide, potassium permanganate. Let's take into account the meaning of the words like what is sterilization and what is pasteurization, so you can understand the basic difference between the two. On the monitor, we first go with what is sterilization. Sterilization is the process of killing pathogens, organisms by heating, radiation, or chemicals. But what is pasteurization? Pasteurization is the process of killing pathogenic organism in milk or beverages by heating the fluid spread in thin layers and suddenly chilling is called as pasteurization. Let's recall a very important term, pasteurization. On the monitor, the word for you. Pasteurization is the process of killing pathogenic organism in milk and beverages by heating the fluid spread in a thin layer and suddenly chilling. Let's also take one more word to understand, a word like sulfur drug. What are sulfur drugs? Sulfur drugs or sulfonamides are synthetic drugs containing sulfur, but they are bacteriostatic or bactericidal. Meaning of the word cidal is kill and static means stop. An example that we give is sulfone, dapsone, and even sulfaazidamine. So here is the examples that we are quoting for sulfur drugs. All these terms we are going to make use of and understand this chapter, AIDS to Health. Taking this term, now we move on to the next segment of the chapter to understand the details in the chapter of AIDS to Health. As we are now studying this chapter of AIDS to Health, it is better for us to first understand what is the basic difference between communicable disease and non-communicable disease. So we can understand the later on terms along with these two terms. Here on the monitor is the differences between communicable disease and non-communicable disease. Communicable diseases are caused by attack of pathogen. So we call it as extrinsic factor. In non-communicable, we say non-communicable disease are caused by both intrinsic factor and extrinsic factor. That is internal and external. In case of communicable disease, we say that these diseases spread from one person to another person. That is from a diseased person to a healthy person. While non-communicable, we say that these diseases cannot spread from one person to another person. The third point that we give in communicable disease is these diseases get transmitted through direct contact or through an agent. While in case of non-communicable, we say that these diseases cannot be transmitted through an agent or by direct contact. Example that we can quote for communicable is influenza. An example for non-communicable is quoted with examples like diabetes and cancer. At this stage, when we know the basic difference between communicable and non-communicable, and we are talking with the chapter AIDS to Health, we start with the unit of what do you understand by a word that is local defense mechanism. And what does it involve? Let us study the details of this part. What is a local defense system? When I use the word local defense system, we start with the first one, which is called as external defense, also called as first line of defense. In our body, what is this first line of defense which is there? We are going to categorize this in two parts. One is a physical barrier and second one is a chemical barrier. Let us see what is a physical barrier and what is a chemical barrier. On the monitor, we go with the first one. Physical barrier. The first physical barrier is skin. So let us see the role of skin. It has